जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जन रंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जन रंजना। यामुनातीरावनचारी। यामुनातीरावनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जन रंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जन रंजना। यामुनातीरावनचारी। यामुनातीरावनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जन रंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जन रंजना। यामुनातीरावनचारी। यामुनातीरावनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा। जय गो प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि गो। Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, new chapter 3, titled Karma Yoga. Yeah. एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री विभिन्न के जैसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शुकोपाद की जाए। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाए। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से गो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्री वासादि गौर भक्त की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय।
Life is of little value in Rome, living in the shadow of the rich and powerful.
Hare Krishna. Alloris to assembly bodies, Hare Krishna. Alloris to assembly bodies, Hare Krishna. Alloris, Alloris, Alloris. Shri Guru and Gauranga. Gopal ki jai. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, Karma Yoga, verse number 1 to probably take it up until 9 or so. Okay. Yeah, I got the darshan. Okay, I'll go here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Prayeshu Apadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Tat 3.1 Arjuna Vacha Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhir Janardhana Tatkim Karmani Gurevam Niyojayasi Kesava. Arjuna Vacha Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhir Janardhana Tatkim Karmani Gurevam Niyojayasi Kesava. The Karmana, Buddhi, these two are important, and the Lord's names are also used. Janardhana, Kesava, depending on the context, the different words are used, different names of the Lord is used, and here the Arjuna's question is on this particular thing, Karmana, Buddhi. He had confusion on this. You want to clear the doubts for him and for all of us. Second chapter, many things are described, expressed, explained very systematically, but as a sincere student, as a practitioner, he has expressed, has put in front of the Lord. That is a very important instruction for all of us. So we should always put that in front of the teacher, guardian, Lord, to understand everything in a proper perspective. So word to word. Arjuna Vacha, Arjuna said, Jayasi, better. And there is a connection from the previous chapter. Chet, if, Karmana, then fruitive action, they, by you, Mata is considered Buddhi, intelligence. Janardana, O Krishna. Tat, therefore, Kim, why, Karmani, in action. Gore, ghastly. Mom, me. Niyojasi, you are engaging. Kesava, O Krishna. Translation by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Vijay. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Kesava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? If you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work, please repeat. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Kesava. He is using two different names because he has two different purposes in this particular verse. Why is he using these names? Why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? If you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work. Next verse. We'll read and then we'll understand these verses and how this chapter is laid out, what is the connection. Some of you might have read, some of you might have heard also before, but it's a good recap because always we should stay focused to know the whole 18 chapter. Somebody asks, tell me how the 18 chapter of Gita, exactly what is talking, how is it linked? We should be able ready to tell the sequence, the connection, the systematic presentation of the Lord. All the things is very important. Verse number 2. व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसे वमे तं तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसेव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसेव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् word to word vyamisrena by equivocal iva certainly vakyena words buddhim intelligence moha isi bewildering you are bewildering iva certainly me my that therefore ekam only one vada please tell nischitya ascertaining ena by which shreya real benefit aham I apnayam may have translation by Prabhupada. My intelligence is bewildered by equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. Please repeat. My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. So, here, that buddhi, so moha is somehow or the other, we won't understand. So, many times we may get two things, confused with a few things. Then that should be cleared up with the Lord. So that is, and then he doesn't want any temporary answers. He wants something which is actually highly beneficial, eternal benefit, Sreya. That word is also used. So he wants to clear up the doubts completely. So you should be very clear what you should do, what Lord meant in the second chapter when he explained. My intelligence is bewildered by equivocal instruction, therefore please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. Read maybe 3 and 4 because this is a question, but then Lord Krishna started answering. So that at least we'll take one verse. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Lokesmin Divida Anishta Pura Prokta Maya Anaga Gnana Yogena Sankyanam Karma Yogena Yogina. Different paths are mentioned because the yoga ladder is also coming here. We should know what is the yoga ladder. If somebody asks what is yoga ladder, I never heard what is this ladder means. What is yoga? How many yogas you have? So that also we will understand from this chapter 3. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Lokesmin Divida Anishta Pura Prokta Maya Anaga Gnana Yogena Sankyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Or towards Sri Bhagavan Vacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Loke, in the world, Asmin, this, Dvivida, two kinds of Nishta, faith, Pura, formerly, Prokta, were said, Maya, by me, Anaga, O sinless one, Gnana Yogena, by the linking process of knowledge. So in this verse, this two are, in this particular section, Jnana Yoga and Sankhya Yoga. So, and this is more the same thing. This Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga and Sankhya Yoga. So that is what will be explained here. Sankhyanam of the empiric philosophers, Karma Yogena, by the line of process, by the linking process of devotion, Yoginam of the devotees. Translation by Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical, philosophical speculation, and others by devotion service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical, philosophical speculation, and others by devotion service. Understand Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjansalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yatkrupa Tamham Vande Sri Gurum Devataram Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswa Mancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda Ki Jai Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadant. Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktan ki jai. So in this third chapter, mainly Arjuna is asking, this is the second question. First of all, let us look at the chapter, why this particular chapter has started, Karma Yoga. So Arjuna is asking this question because in the second chapter, Lord Krishna has explained already various philosophy, various yogas, starting from Sankhya Yoga slash Jnana Yoga, which Arjuna is mentioning, all the way from 13 to 29. Lord is explaining in details about the what is body, what is soul, what is the nature of the body, temporary, what is the permanent nature, eternal nature of the soul, in various different ways with examples of this dress, vasamsi jurnani, like that. So and what will be the result? How it is nectarian and immortal. One follows, understand the process of this self-realization of the soul. In that way, that is the first. Then next we explain the karma yoga, karma, duty. As a Kshatriya, you should do the duty. Put aside this soul body. Even if you put that aside, at least you should do your duty. That he talked about karma. Then he talked about nishkama karma. From 30 to 39, he talked about there, the verse is there. That's where this connection is there. 39th verse. And there is the 49th verse which has a connection. And then 61st verse. So there are some of the connections from the 39th verse says, Esha Vita Sankhya Buddhi Yogam Imam Sano Karma Yogena Sankhyanam Jnana Yogena. Forget the last line. But it is basically Lord is there. Now, till now I have explained you about Sankhya Yoga. Analytical description of in a short, because Bhagavad Gita is only limited, 1 hour only. Lord Krishna has spoken on battlefield. So in third canto Srimad Bhagavatam is much elaborate of Sankhya Yoga. But here only just body and soul. It doesn't go elaborate 26 elements. How did it come? What is the sequence? What does it mean? So all that it doesn't go that detail. Here it only goes about what is soul, what is body, temporary, permanent nature only. Few verses. That's all it talks about. That's what here Sankhya Yoga means in Bhagavad Gita. So I explained till now Sankhya Yoga. Now and now I'm going to explain about working without fruitive results. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga. And then what will be the benefit? You will be saved from greatest danger, and you will get at least human birth. Otherwise, there is no guarantee. So all these things Lord is telling. Before he started explaining about Nishkama Karma Yoga, he is telling. So 38, 39, and then 40th was Neha Vikramanasastu Pratyavayo Navidya Salpamasa Dharmasa Trayato Mahato Baya, fear. So that is the connection point. And that's why here you see that Sankhya, the next verse is telling why you want me to engage in this. If you think Janardana Kesava, that is the first. Let us look at the connection. Then we'll see why these names of the Lord is used in this specific. And then the 49th verse also, because Lord has used Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Then he went to Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, then Nishkama Karma Yoga from 42 all the way till 54. Arjuna is asking first question there, 55. There is explained now you have to work without fruit. Famous verse we all know, 47. Karmanyevadi karaste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbor matayastu sangastu akarmani. So basically, it's driving. It's very systematical. Some knowledge, basic knowledge has to be there. And you will decide what type of work you have to do, which work is it going to bind, or is it going to help me free from the entanglement, from the suffering. So what type of work I have to choose. So that clear differentiation Lord is making and explaining that process from this 52, 39, 42, 54 and the benefits of it. Then he goes further explaining 55 to Arjuna's first question is asked how the self, because he's talking about in this particular verse of many things. 49th verse, which is connected in this verse, where he's telling Durena Yavara Karma Buddhi, keep this abominable activities far distance and engage in Buddhi. He's telling Buddhi means intelligence. So as soon as intelligence Arjuna heard, then he thought, oh, then intelligence means controlling the senses by intelligence. So then I don't need to do the active work. I can retire. I can go somewhere, sit down, renounce, because so many jnanis, they give up this work, take sannyas, or go to Himalayas, or go to some place, sit and study. So all this. So this is matter. This is false. Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. This is all Jagat is Mithya, false. Let me accept as Brahma. So matter. But in reality, here in this chapter, Lord is going to explain that both are same. Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, ultimate result of Sankhya, Jnana and Bhakti Yoga is same. By philosophical finding, this is matter, this is spirit. Finally, they are researching through research and scientific philosophical speculation. They have to come to the actual understanding that as this is spirit is the ultimate. So the supreme personality of Godhead, very impersonal way, but that is the point. Finally, they have to come to that destination. And devotion service from the beginning to end, it's all about the Supreme Lord only, absolute truth. So either way, the end result is the attaining the Supreme only, in one way or the other. So both are pointing to the same aspect. So that's why he's telling, as soon as he heard, Arjuna heard, he got a confusion. That means I don't need to work. Then why are you asking me to engage in the ghastly warfare? If you think that intelligence is better than fruity work, from all the way from 40 to 49, 50, 60, almost 15, 20 verses, many times the interchangeable words are used like buddhi, controlling the senses, prajna. So mostly like the intelligence, controlling the senses, intelligence, controlling the senses. Then he keep hearing these words, then he understood, okay, then it looks like I don't need to. Only first 10 verses or so, 30 to 39, he expressed about work. You have to do your duty, Kshatriya. But after that, he's stressing more so about intelligence, controlling the senses. So then I can sit someplace, then I can control the senses. I can use my intelligence. So I don't need to work in this. This ghastly warfare means it will be too much. I will be contaminated with all this consciousness. So I don't need to do that. Looks like Lord is telling me Krishna consciousness means inertia. Krishna consciousness means no active work. So I should sit and meditate and sit and chant. So that is what it is the Arjuna's question. So it is stemming from the verse number 39, stemming from verse number 49. And then a slight connection is there from verse number 61, where Bhakti is mentioned first time explicitly. Yada what is that verse? यानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्तासीत मत्परा वसे यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठा. Prajna is used again. Prajna means intelligent. Same thing. Buddhi is intelligent. That means Krishna conscious indirectly is telling it's the same thing Krishna is telling. Krishna conscious only. Through karma, through buddhi, in whatever way is expressing, it's all about to come to the platform of attachment to the Supreme Lord. Whatever we do. That is the point. So Lord, there it is directly mat para, where Prabhupada is quoting, also explaining by quoting Baladev Vidya Bhushan. This mat para means mat prabhavena bhakti sarvendriya kritanam vijayana. So one will, by performing this bhakti, mat bhakti prabhavena. Para means, mat para means by performing devotion service to the Supreme Lord, what will happen? Sarvendriya, all our senses, karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, our heart, everything will be become victorious. Automatically, naturally, we will be able to control the senses, we will be very much blissful and happy internally. When mat para means Lord is the ultimate shelter and surrender. That is very much required. Yesterday also we were talking about that similar point of Prahlad Maharaj going and meeting this Python kind of person, self-realized person. So then he mentioned the same thing. So person has many, not able to control senses, anxiety, or and so many problems. It's all stemming from the not surrendering. And I have taken the example that I have learned these things from B. How I should be satisfied with just take a little. Be satisfied with picking up the honey from here, there. And after that, also after doing sometimes this work, then I put it in the honeycomb. Then people come and steal it. But still, I'm detached. So B is detached. I saw that. So I'm also now learning from that. Then whatever I get, I'm happy and I detach. So if I don't get, fine. If I get something, then I'm fine. So I'm detached. I'm learned the detachment. By surrendering to the Supreme Lord, I learned this detachment from B. And then I also learned from Python, so I don't need to work, endeavor so much extensively, going on working without having goal. Like Python is sitting at one place, It is receiving whatever it receives, then it will eat. If it doesn't receive anything, it will not eat for a few days sometimes. So I'm also the same thing. Sometimes I get so much food, sometimes I get nothing. I'm fine. I'm satisfied. So like that, he gives these examples, which is very important. That means surrender is important to the Supreme Lord. That is what Matpara means. You are accepting the Supreme Lord in every walk of life, every day. We involve the Supreme Lord in our decisions, in our thought process, and what we do, how we do, so that He will help us. Then all our intelligence will be proper, sharpened. That also will be discussed in this verse. So that is the connection. From verse number 39, verse number 49 is the explicit connection why Arjuna is making this, putting this particular question. It is stemming from these two verses specifically, because he has told about Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and also he has told about intelligence, controlling the senses. Even though systematically only presented, but Arjuna is a serious practitioner. Prabhupada explains this in his classes on this chapter. That this is the practitioner's duty, is to put these questions in front of the teacher, that clarify it. So if we have confusions, many people have seen, Prabhupada himself is telling, why in Vrindavan, when I'm there, they are sitting there and chanting, giving up. They thought, sitting alone and chanting is the giving up the work is actually real Krishna consciousness. I can attain the Supreme. And then they used to come out and smoke. They have no control of senses, but they're artificially trying to do this thing. So that means they didn't understand, actually, they have no understanding of Krishna consciousness. That's why they should be guided by the spiritual master and devotees. And Prabhupada is giving that example. I have seen this in Vrindavan myself. When Prabhupada was there, now we can expect that is also, even now also, going on. So that is the point for devotees and in general also. Arjuna is clearing up the doubts for us, how we should understand these things when Krishna says working without fruitive results or controlling the senses, buddhi, these words when it is used. It is to do with working, but to divert or dovetail that to the Supreme Lord and His representatives. So that's the two verses are quoted regularly by Prabhupada, by Rupa Goswami's verses. One is the false renunciation, one is trying to, we're not at one platform, but we're trying to come to that platform and immediately accepting as a, as a renounced, or you want to take something else. Where Adhikar is not there. In this particular chapter, we talked many times. Karma Adhikari, Jnana Adhikari. That is also stressed here, because that is the ladder. So yoga ladder is, first is the karma kanda, karma kanda. Karma means as per the whatever Veda says, that is a regulated action. The Shastra says this is what you should do, and that is doing that is karma. If it is doing against, then it becomes vikarma. But it's karma slash karma kanda, because you get the benefit, then you enjoy, then you still in the material world, you may go to higher planets. That is karma kanda. As soon as you add yoga, karma kanda, next step is second ladder is karma yoga. That means it is tied with the Supreme Lord. Within that, you have two steps within that, two sub steps. Sakama Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga. That means we may have desires. We may not have completely no desires to enjoy. So we may connect it. Karma Yoga means immediately connecting with the Supreme. In Karma Kanda, not connecting with the Supreme Lord so much. Only following the Vedas says then how to enjoy, how to get different benefits. Is trying to follow that because he will get benefits to enjoy, get more wealth, good, more opulence, a beautiful wife, husband. So all this, all the 9 yards of karma kanda, attraction towards these benefits. The karma yoga is connected with the Supreme Lord. He wants to come to the Lord, but still he has desires. That is called sakama. Demigods are also in this category. Sakama karma yoga. So then he goes to the next, it's in that another section is Nishkama Karma Yoga. So gradually, second chapter, Krishna is laying this out. Now in the third chapter is more towards Karma Yoga. But in this chapter, Karma is there, Karma Kanda, Karma slash Karma Kanda is there, Karma Yoga is there, Nishkama Karma Yoga is there. But it doesn't go so much detail. Then because fifth chapter is there to establish much more formally about Nishkama. Here more so, all these sections are laid out from Karma, Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, all these things are mentioned. Then fifth chapter will be completely about how to be situated in Nishkama Karma Yoga, more so. So the yoga ladder is going from karma slash karma kanda to karma yoga, nishkama karma yoga within karma yoga section. Then comes jnana yoga. Then comes Ashtanga yoga. Then comes Bhakti yoga. This is the yoga ladder. Result will be also different each step because one by one progressing. Uh, you- one doesn't need to go through each and every yoga to come to Bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is independent. It can be directly executed from the beginning itself. But if one is performing karma, he can gradually come also. But bhakti is in all the stages it is included because yoga, as soon as karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, yoga means immediately there is a connection. Whether it may be the impersonal aspect of Supreme Lord, it may be Paramatma, so it may be personal form of the Lord. So that is the only difference with it. But it is connection with the Supreme Lord in one form or the other. Three phases, three forms of the Lord is there. So it is connected. Then only it is yoga. If there is no connection with the Supreme Lord in any of these forms, then it is not yoga anymore. It is only it's outside of serving the Supreme Lord. So or it is called karma kanda. So that is what is being explained. Now let us look at the sections of this particular chapter. There are 5 sections. First is Arjuna's questions. Arjuna asked first question in second chapter. Who is that self-realized soul? How does he act? How does he work? How does he talk? That is 55th verse, 54, I think. And that verse. And now the second question Arjuna is asking. Because in Bhagavad Gita, I think we have 15, about 12 to 15 questions Arjuna is asking, whole Bhagavad Gita. So question and answers. So second question now here, Arjuna is asking. This is the first section. Questions by Arjuna, 1 and 2. And then 3rd to 9. So it's called Nishkama Karma Yoga. So now Lord is making, immediately answering the question Karma Yoga slash Sankhya Yoga slash Jnana Yoga versus Buddhi Yoga. Or in this, or one sense, I will be another title has been told by renunciation or work. Arjuna is asking basically explicitly, that's what he's asking. Why do you want me to engage in ghastly warfare? That means he wants to renounce work. He thought controlling senses of Buddhi Yoga means renouncing work. So, should I renounce? Question. Or should I work? Which one you want me to do? Because your instructions are confusing to me. You are telling in one place you want me to renounce, in one place you are doing work. Which one you want me to do? So I'm confused. So that is the question 1 and 2 is laid out. That's why this title also called Arjuna's questions are renunciation or work question. So that is the first section. Second section is Lord Krishna is giving the immediate answer, and then he's telling Nishkama Karma Yoga in second section from 3rd verse to 9th verse. And then from the 10th to 16th, he is talking about Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Step by step, he's telling. Because first he is giving the higher principle of Nishkama Karma Yoga, and then he's going to again come to that, but first he's going to explain what is Karma Kanda, and then Karma Yoga. Then gradually, next section, after from 17 to 26, I think, 17, 28, 26 or 25, is again Nishkama Karma Yoga, but more so setting an example. God himself, when he comes, or his representative comes, they set an example. The famous verse is there. Yadyad acharati sreshta, that's what acharan. That means setting an example. So that, yeah, because he has told already in the second section, now he wants to, with an example, how he does it when he comes. He himself also follows it, so that others will follow his example. So that is the section next from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga section. Then the 4th section is this one. The last section, Arjuna's 3rd question. The second question is here in the first verse. And the 3rd question Arjuna is asking in this chapter is, beware of lust, anger, greed. Why is it that I am being forced to engage in this ghastly? Why is it that I am engaged in this abominable activity? I don't want to do it. But somehow or the other I am being forced and dragged. What is that? What is that? What is that actually causing me? What is forcing me to do that? Can you tell me about it? That is the third, very important question actually. In that work, because we all go through that process, that particular stages. So, being in that also multiple stages will be there because Anartha Nivritti is a big stage. So that's elaborately explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur at different levels. So, and everything, even the chanting, these anarthas are there. That also explained at different levels. Like Madhur Kadambani explains Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained Harinam Chintamani. So, all these different ways it is explained. But that in Anartha Nivurti is there in all these aspects. In our chanting, in our general services, all these things has to be looked at and then clear these things. So that will help. So that's why it's very important. And so, in this way, this whole chapter is laid out from all the way from Arjuna is asking the beware of lust, anger, greed. And so, because that is there inside our heart. All these unwanted anarthas are the demons, six demons, which were killed before Lord Krishna appeared in the womb of Mother Devaki. Those six of them were killed. So that is representing the six anarthas: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsarya, in terms of Hiranyakasipu, Hiranyaksha, all this. So same thing is here, more precise. Lust, anger, greed, these three things. And Lord is telling three gates to hell. These are the actual. It is timing, it is there in your senses, it is there sitting in the heart, it is sitting in your intelligence. And the famous verse is the last verse is very important for devotees. In the whole Bhagavad Gita, that is very important also because intelligence has to be sharpened every day. One has to. That means one has to take the like we lately everybody is taking protein powder, trying to be healthy, all these things. So for us devotees, what is that protein? That protein is sharpening the intelligence. That is hearing. Prabhupada stressed so much on hearing chanting, but also hearing, attentively hearing, and hearing Bhagavad Gita Srimad every day. Because when that is there, then we will be able to differentiate, discriminate what is good, what is not good, which method to choose, which option to choose in everything, in our day-to-day activities, in job, in business, in everything. Because when the intelligence is sharpened, then you will be able to make proper right decisions. Otherwise, we won't be able to decide, we won't be able to know actually which one is the right way. So, but if you are constantly, regularly hearing, so that's why Lord is stressing in the third chapter, the last verse is stressing that particular point. Then transcendental knowledge is starting because he's stressing so much on intelligence, sharpening intelligence by hearing, by taking transcendental knowledge. So that's when it connects into the fourth chapter. See how the chapters are connected, how chapters are systematically loaded. Every chapter is like that. Second to all the way from first chapter to 18 chapters, everything is very systematically laid out. Lord doesn't want to confuse anybody. It is only that sometimes practitioner student may get confused. So Arjuna is taking that position, so that we can understand. Also, we also get confused many times. So he takes that particular position. Now let us look at the verse more. So why Arjuna is now coming back to the sections are cleared, connection to the chapter. Hope it is clear. No questions on that point. So in this particular verse, Arjuna is asking very clearly. Two words are used, Janardana and Kesava. Ka, Isha and Va Kesava. And that means one, the Lord Vishnu is the controller, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, that is Kesava. The another many meanings are there, Kesava. Kesava who has beautiful hair. So he is also Kesava. Yeah, so he's telling basically he's also he's the controller of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. And so in this particular also he has killed. The main point here is the third meaning is there. One who has killed the KC demon. So that is the meaning here. In this particular context, that Kesava is used. Arjuna has a doubt. He wants that demon doubt to be killed by Krishna. That's why he's using Kesava. He's using Janardana because Ardhana and Ardhana. I think Baldev Vidya Bhushan or those Vishwanath Chakravarti, Prabhupada mentions that in his classes. That Janardana means there are Ardhana and Ardhana. Janardana means you are the maintainer of all living entities. Jana means living entities. We are all. So Ardhana, Ardhana. One is removing a distress, one is maintaining. Both are there in this. So you are supposed to remove the distress. Then why you are asking me to engage in Vast? Actually, Lord is not supposed to. He is not He is not our art taker. So we should be working towards to please and serve him. He is not supposed to be the other way around. So Arjuna is thinking that you are my chariot driver. So you are supposed to remove my distress, but then you are putting me in distress. Why do you do that? So that is the why he is using this Janardana. But actually, Lord is the maintainer. That is another meaning. Janardana means he is the maintainer. That means he knows. Bhava Grahi Janardana. He knows actually in what consonant, what is happening with the particular practitioner. That Lord knows. He takes that intention only. What is the intention of this person who is doing? So that Lord takes. It doesn't because then his child is doing depend. He takes into consideration whenever things are done. Depending on the responsibility, depending on number of years, all these things Lord takes into consideration because everybody cannot get the same result, same thing because he has to look at his intention, his experience, his position, all this. Because if the person is experienced, and his position is higher, and then he's supposed to know everything, he's supposed to behave properly. But if he's behaving, then Lord takes into account. Then different results, higher punishment will be given like that. It to only to correct, to bring him up to speed. That is the Lord doesn't want to punish anybody, just like father and mother doesn't want to punish any child. It is only to correct him, bring him back up to the speed. That is only uh, thing which Lord is tries to help. Sometimes it may be our karma only, but He tries to help putting the test so that we will be more strengthened and we realize the mistakes. So all these things are there in this particular Janardana, Bhavagrahi Janardana. And Lord has 24 names in that. Janardana is also one of the names. Trivikrama, Janardana, Vamana. Tomorrow is Lord Vaman Devi appearance day. So like that, Janardana is also. There is a famous temple in Tamil Nadu, Varakala Janardana. And Tamil Nadu, I have not been there. But and so if you are from Tamil Nadu, you might know this. So I think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited this place in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think we see that. Anyway, so that is what it means. Now, in this particular verse, Arjuna is making that clear. He was confused on that why. So, controlling the senses, if that is the thing, then I shouldn't fight. It is too much distressing. I can't. It's actually dragging me and not able to control the senses. So it's better that I renounce, go to forest. As in the second chapter beginning, Arjuna already said that. Whatever you are telling me, I don't need. Even if they are ready to kill me unarmed, they are ready to give me all the uplands. I don't want it. I want to renounce, go to forest. That is better for me. Then he thought, second thought, then he said, no, I don't know. Maybe not right. So let me surrender to the Lord. And then Lord started giving instruction. So here again, same point is coming to, but little more elevated. In the beginning, he completely sat down, crying, tears are flowing, and he doesn't want to do anything. His mind reeling, and he was completely in shaken position. But now he's little more mature. And that is Prabhupada is writing in a few places. Devotee must be, in I think, Netravan version. Devotee must be mature. Try to increase maturity and be patient. I think in the Python's instruction, which Prahlad Maharaj meeting this self soul, yeah, that point is also made there also. Maturity and patience. These two things are mentioned in the purport. So, which is a good thing to know. Here, Arjuna has a little more maturity than the beginning. So, he's putting that question. He's not completely shattered. At least he has the strength and courage to ask this particular question. Now, in the second verse, is mentioning about his confusion. Vyamisreneva means two things you are mentioning is renunciation and work. So which one you want me to do? But he doesn't want any temporary results. He doesn't want band-aids. He wants the real thing, what is going to help him fully for his whole life. So that is what Sreya. Sreyam apnuyam. So Nischita, you tell me decisively, directly you tell me what I should do, what I should not do. So that is what is talking about Nischitya. Confidently tell me decisively so that I am not confused anymore and I will act properly according to your guidance. Now the Lord speaks, famous verse. Lokeshmin Dividha Anishta. So there are two kinds of people. There are two kinds of paths, two kinds of process. And you are sinless. Maya Anaga. Gnana Yogena Sankhya. This is one process. And then other process is Karma Yogena Yogina. Yes, there are two processes. Both are actually leading to same. So both are actually the end result is the same, end goal is same. But one is a difficult thing, the other one is easy. But one who is too much absorbed, too much grossly attached, for them these kind of processes are recommended. Uh, Too much, they are into the speculation, they are too much attached to the gross body. So for them, this kind of process, Ashtanga Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, these are recommended for them. Even the Srimad Bhagavatam second canto beginning is not talking about devotion service. First step in God realization, you will see that meditate on the universal form, ankles, legs, feet, like that, whole chapter. Then the second step, second chapter also goes on the Paramatma form. Then the third chapter only it goes to pure devotion service, third chapter and the second canto. Parikshit Maharaj. Sukadeva Goswami explained that way also. And so here also, similar thing. So Lord is laying out one by one because not everybody is, can, they are not capable to practice Bhakti Yoga. Some are only at Karma Kanda level. So that also Lord has to speak. So that maybe they can come, understand the next step also, Karma Yoga. Maybe they can come to Karma Yoga slowly in this life or next life. So that's all these things. For those category of people, is Lord is explaining all these aspects, different ladders. They can pick up one of the step and go to the next step at least in this life. For the devotees, he is telling all these steps also, and everywhere is involving that everything you do, you may have desire, but make sure that you're connecting that with me. And so the two verses which I didn't mention earlier, Rupa Goswami's verse. One is artificially renouncing. Artificially, we are thinking that now I'm elevated, I should do this. So as soon as we hear or we read in the purport. Prapanchikata buddhya, hari sambandhi vastana, mumukshu parityago, phalu vairagyam vartate. This is a false renunciation, artificial or monkey renunciation. Monkey will jump here and there, so that is market vairagya. Or smashan vargya, means as soon as sometimes we get great distress, great obstacle or great problem, different types of problems. So we, somebody passes there, then we go to smashan, then we immediately we feel, yes, I should give up this, give up that, so many things. Immediately we change. And after a day or two, then back to square one. That is gone. So that's why it needs some days. Sometimes we have to wait patiently and let it sit in the mind. We have to churn that. Then we'll be able to make a proper decision. Sometimes immediate decision is not going to work. Sometimes you have to wait for the Lord to reveal also, because it takes time for mind to adjust, intelligence to process it. So that is otherwise it is this false renunciation. Immediately we can think and come to conclusion and then may act at a higher level than our level. So that is prapanchika buddhya harisambandhavastha. It's artificially taking a higher step or renouncing things going. Prabhupada gives the example of going to holy places. So sitting down like Haridas Thakur, which is not recommended. Prabhupada explains many times. That is the verse. And the other verse is the active renunciation. So you don't do this, but you do this one. Second verse, which is Yukta Vairag, real renunciation. That means so you engage. You engage always in devotion service. Whatever you do, okay, you may be whatever, carpenter or IT, business or home housewife, whatever it may be. But actively engage that particular work, connect with Krishna. So that verse is anasaktasya vishyan yatarham upayan nirbandhe Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagyam uchyate. Prabhupada is writing this is an ideal civilized person in the 13th chapter of 7th canto. He's writing all this. Money should be used for Narayan. Money should be sent wisely. And he's warning also for devotees. Those who are in Krishna consciousness business, especially they are working, they have some responsibilities also. Be careful, not a single far thing should be wasted. Otherwise, entanglement, distress, so many things will come to you. So because devotees accept donations and all, you make sure that you and 50% you put that for book distribution, distributing the books, printing the books. 50% you engage in the establishing temples. That's why I myself, Prabhupada is telling in his own example. That's why myself didn't establish temples and all this. Later on, when I got a lot of money, then I started engaging. In the beginning, I didn't do that. So, and we have to also use carefully. So this is what at least. So still going on. That 50% of the work, 50% of the donation is supposed to be always printing the books, distributing the books. Use that because not every temple may not have. So then to establish temple, they can borrow the money, return the money. That's how Prabhupada established the process, so that it is people are accountable because everything Lord's every penny was supposed to be engaged properly. So is telling for especially specifically to devotees, especially if they are engaged in some responsibility or the other in the temple setting. So more so. For others also, for Grihasthas also is telling, use it wisely, spend. It is Krishna's money. Even though you are working, you are getting the result, but make sure you use it wisely. Otherwise, we are inviting, because if it is not engaged in Narayan, then automatically we invite the distress. Because as soon as anything which is not connected with the Lord, immediately distress, anxiety, suffering automatically is there. So that's why we have to, some things we cannot avoid, but we should try to minimize that. So that's why in the second chapter, 47 verse is telling, Kama karma has to be minimized, reduced, bring it to zero. It's a gradual process. Nitya karma, naimitya karma has to be increased, and this Kama karma, desire, some Kama karma has to come to gradually come to Nishkama karma, and then come to completely pure devotion service. It's a gradual step. So we have to keep trying it, and then we'll come. So that is the point which Lord is stressing in this whole chapter, is coming, bringing a practitioner from this karma kanda stage to karma yoga stage to Nishkama karma yoga stage. Ultimately, he wants us to put, that's why there's a essence of Gita in this third chapter, famous verse 3.30. In Bhagavad Gita, there are 4 or 5 verses. 3.30 is one of them. Then you have 1155 is one of them. Prabhupada, I think this is essence, that is purpose of Gita. And then the 15.15, which is Paribhas Sutra, famous verse of whole Bhagavad Gita essence is in that particular verse. So these are the very important verses: 330, 1155, 15.15. So you can see in the purport Prabhupada is making. This is essence of Gita. This is the purpose of Gita. As per 3.30 is purpose of Gita, because purpose of Gita is to fifth subject karma, how to make it eternal karma, how to make it permanent, transformational activity for us to be transformed, for us to be entered into spiritual world. That's the whole purpose of Gita. Arjuna should fight, should do the duty, but that duty should bring him back to the spiritual world, bring him to the transcendental plane. While doing the work, while doing the fighting, same work only. Others may do it, but by engaging in the service of the Lord, then it will be transcendental plane, same duty. So that is what Krishna is making. That's why 3.30 is called purpose of Gita. That is the whole purpose of main purpose is that to transform our material activity into completely spiritual activity. So for pleasing the Lord. So Arjuna decided finally to please the Lord only I should fight. Even though it may be whatever, distress, some anxiety, all those things may go on, but fine. So he surrendered and did it. 3.30 has understood very well. So and then he practiced it. So already 8:06. Let's look at this verse one more time and then we'll conclude. So Lokesmin Dvidanista Praprakta Mayanaga Dana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Actively engage in devotion service. Karma Yoga means actively work, because soul is active. No one can give up the work. Everybody has to work. Sannyasi has to work. Brahmachari has to work. Grahastha, Vanaprastha, all the 4 ashram has to work, but at different levels. Because the maturity is the levels of progress. So Prabhupada makes a point. That point is also there here. Renunciation or work. That is the question, right? So one should not artificially renounce. That's why those who are artificially renounce, then they fall down prematurely, because they are not able to control the sense. That's why when the guru decides to give, then he knows. Most of the cases that person will be able to hold it. But if the disciple decides, I want to take, when guru is not yet decided, and then that what will happen? That means it is premature. So in some of the cases that we can see proper examples are there. Some of them he went and approached and they insisted Prabhupada also sometimes. Prabhupada, all right, take it. Some of them fell down also. So that's why it should be, we should give time to the spiritual master. because he will know. So sometimes if you force him or if you, then you have, okay, fine, then it may not be good for us. We may not be able to, because we are not at that mature to come to practice that level, and then we may have shortcomings. Then that is highest sannyas means highest level. We have to practice at that level, completely detached, completely fully surrendered to the Lord, surrendered to spirit. Anything and everything we should be ready. That's what sannyas means. Mind, body, senses, speech, everything is doubted only for the Lord and spiritual master. Anywhere, anytime, we should be ready to go without any fear, without any attachment, without any, oh, this problem will be there, that problem I can't go, it's too cold, too. No, that real sannyas means that is what. But not that also various levels are there. So that you can see Prabhupada travel like that anywhere, anytime. He has no problem. Because he's doing that is the real sannyas. That is Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya we call. Evam Vishnupadam. Paramahamsa Parivrajika. That is what it means. Paramahamsa Parivrajika sannyasi means he has fully, completely come to the pure state of sannyas where his complete dedication, complete surrender is there. He has no tinge of anything left in his consciousness, that he is holding on to still things. He's not fully 100% surrendered. He's not ready 100% to do anything and everything for the Lord and Guru. So that is the difference of in the sannyas also. One should be careful. But anyway, here Lord is mentioning that one should, both are same thing. Understand by empirical philosophical speculation and others by devotion service. Later on, he will tell that it's better that you actively engage. Many chapters you will tell. It's better because your soul is active. You better engage in the actively in the work, but also invite Krishna, include Krishna in it, so that becomes easy for us. Because anyway, we are passionate to work in this. In Kali Yuga, most of us are in the passionate work. We can't give up for whatever reason. We have that tendency. So it's better that we stay in that platform, but you involve, add Krishna, include Krishna in the each and every aspect of our work on daily basis. Then that becomes karma yoga. From sakam karma, we may have desire, fine. Then if you keep on doing it, submitting to the Lord and doing it, then gradually will come to nishkam. Then we will not have any attachment with the Lord. Whatever comes, we will accept it. Sometimes we may not get bonus. Sometimes we may, we have to change things, change the course. We have to, so many things will go on. So, but we'll accept. Like the Pandavas accepted, Kunti Maharani accepted, Prahlad Maharaj accepted, so Prachetas accepted. So like this, we'll accept because it's a stage of maturity. So it comes with the practice. It comes with the association of devotees. This maturity will change, and patience also will build and increase. Then we'll be able to do it more. Which and anarthas will be cleared as in the past. That is what maturity, patience means. Also anarthas getting cleared. Then we will come from karmadhikari to jnanadhikari stage. Karmadhikari means we are passionate about work, but we are not able to detach. We are not able to give the results to the Supreme Lord and Guru fully. We are still holding on to things. When come to the Nishkama Karma, Dhanadhikari stage means higher stage. We are full conviction and faith on the Shastra, on Sadhu and Guru. Fully conviction. At that time, then we'll be able to, we are situated in a maturity, and then many anarthas are cleared at that stage, and then we can take up higher and higher steps. In karma platform, karmadhikari platform, we can't take many steps. Our faith is little weaker. And so that's why we should be always consulting and guiding. Even though we may read in the purport certain things that, it may seem, yes, I should do this. Then we should consult before doing that. Because in the karmadhikari stage, if we do think and we do it immediately, then we may not do it in the right way, or result may be different. So we may face obstacles and challenges while doing that. So that's it. Better to consult and how to do it and whether to do it or not do it. But when we come to Jnana, then many things we'll be able to follow it and do it. Because main principle, main details are already given by Guru and previous Acharya. Then detail we'll be able to follow through it. So directly. So we may not need to. At that stage, we may not need to consult for each and everything. But in the earlier stage, many things we have to consult. Regularly, we have to consult on. So because our senses are so so much attached to various things. So at that stage, it becomes otherwise difficult. So with that, we'll stop. Any questions? One or two questions. We'll stop and conclude. Any questions anyone has on this particular section we're discussing, or any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, how to understand this?
Yes.
The rungs of the ladder, right? From Sakama to Nishkama Karma Yoga to and all the way up to Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah.
It's very relatable to progress from Nishkama Karma Yoga to getting knowledge and then doing bhakti based on how our acharyas have said. But how come Ashtanga Yoga is on the higher rung, Prabhu? How to understand that? Higher rung of the ladder.
Yeah. You're right. The way we explained, but even Lord is explaining also, it is not in the beginning, it is in the 6th chapter. In one sense, because we can understand, look at the steps of Ashtanga Yoga. But these days everybody is doing the yoga, so that's a different thing. But in this context of Bhagavad Gita, Lord is telling, you look at the steps: yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, tatyaha, dhyana, dharana, samadhi. That means it's more to that person supposed to be already able to control the senses. That means if he is able to control the senses, he is already much elevated position actually, much elevated position, because that is the key. If he is not able to control the senses, he is not able to come to the next. Then there is no question of even Ashtanga Yoga at all. There is no Ashtanga. That's what Prabhupada is writing. Much. Today's world, everybody is opening various yoga societies, but everywhere only gymnastics going on. Everywhere only how to make the body fit and enjoy. But actually, in reality, it is opposite. They are supposed to control the senses. They are supposed to regulate it. But in reality, opposite is happening. This is not real Ashtanga Yoga. So that is why it is a higher platform. In that sense, it is a higher platform. Because in Karma Yoga, we still are attached. Controlling senses is not so easy. Sakam Karma Yoga is Indra. So as soon as you see somebody, then immediately he sends Menaka or some society girl so that he doesn't take his position. So he has desires. He's not fully detached. Don't take me wrong. I'm just here so that we understand.
Yeah, I understand.
Our position is very high.
Right.
We are nowhere compared to him. We have so many faults. But to understand the context, we are giving that example.
Right.
So that is Sakam Karma Yoga. And Nishkam Karma Yoga is almost, you can say that more or less similar to the Ashtanga Yoga practice of at least the beginning. But if one is on the Dhyana, Dharana, that stage, then is much more mature than Nishkam Karma Yoga. Many of them, like the Dhritarashtra's, he has performed similar to Ashtanga Yoga, almost Kriya Yoga or so, something, I forget exact wording, which yoga is used in the 3rd canto, or in the 1st canto, last or middle chapter somewhere. This Vidura and Dhritarashtra going to forest and performing this part of the Ashtanga Yoga. So that's why Lord is also mentioning at the end of 5th chapter, he begins the Ashtanga Yoga, and then he continues, connects to the 6th chapter of Ashtanga Yoga. Because the knowledge is required also in that aspect, Ashtanga, because how to control, because Dhyana, Dharana means there's some knowledge has to be required, because to understand the 6 koshas, understand how this process works, it still requires some transcendental knowledge related to the process of Ashtanga, how to meditate, what is the process to meditate, what is to be avoided, because Ashtanga is also supposed to avoid many things in his day-to-day activities, what he should do, what he should not do, how to sit, how to practice it, so properly practice it under the guidance. There also supposed to be another yogi who's in that following this Patanjali Yoga Sutra, then he can follow it. In that sense, basically, Ashtanga Yoga is in a higher rung. But if he's completely bhakti is performed, then definitely Ashtanga Yoga is nowhere comparison to Bhakti Yoga. But if he's performing Sakama Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, Bhagavad Arpita, Nishkama Karma Yoga, another word is Bhagavad Arpita Nishkama Karma Yoga. So Because Nishkama Karma means yoga is not there. Nishkama Karma yoga means it is Bhagavad Arpita as soon as you add the yoga. But many people do engage in work like Bill Gates, many people, because they have money, they have so many things, they will offer it to somebody else. Not necessarily that they are doing for the Lord. So that means it's not Bhagavad Arpita, it's not yoga. It is only Nishkama Karma. That means they don't want anything back. They are not attached to it. Sometimes they are attached also. They are attached for the name and fame. They want to publicize it, all these things. For that purpose, also many people may do it. So that's why it's not exactly Nishkama Karma Yoga. So there is a subtle differences of Nishkama Karma versus Nishkama Karma Yoga. Or Bhagavad Arpita Nishkama Karma Yoga. Then gradually they enter into Bhakti. So, and then they go progress. Because various stages, sub stages within that. Yeah.
So some or most aspects of Ashtanga Yoga, our acharyas and Srila Prabhupada have already it's already incorporated in Bhakti Yoga.
Correct. Yeah, because Yama Nima we do every day. Because four regulative principles is there, chant. So what is prohibition, what is to be done, both are there. Yama Nima in that all. That is the first step. Nectar 1 and 2 verses is talking about this Yama Nima already. So Bhakti Yoga, yes, it already includes it. So that's why when Lord says many of these chapters, 6 chapters many times I mentioned, it applies also for devotees. It's not the Ashtanga Yoga 6 chapter I don't need to read. Because it is application for us also.
Right.
Prabhupada writing in the purport, if you look at the purport, it's very clear.
It's just that we don't have to delve into it.
Correct.
On by itself, we have to in relation to Krishna. So
yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Anybody else? Okay, everyone will stop here. Thank you very much.